My name is Constantinide. I am an international human rights lawyer, and this is my journey. On the 1st of July 1988, and that's my birthday, I was born in Stockholm. I think very early in the morning. That it makes sense now that I'm actually a very early morning person. I think around 5:30 in the morning I was born. And soon after we went back to Cyprus because that's where we were living. My father is Cypriot. At the age of 5, something very crucial happened to me, to my life, and to my existence. And I firmly believe that at the childhood, and I believe that they do say until the age of 5, you create your personality and who you are. So anything that happens to you, you have the power to utilize that experience in a good or bad, and it's a choice that you make later on in your life. And I make the choice in becoming a better version of me every single day. But what was that? At the age of 5, my mother was murdered. On the 6th of June 1993, she gone missing, and 6 months after we found her in a landfill in Nicosia. I was 5 when that happened, and I do have some memories about it. The importance about my mum's case is not just the personal impact that it had on me as a victim, but it is the legal aspect of it. My mother's case became an important case law in relation to the mens rea. So for those that you're not lawyers, mens rea is your state of mind, or the person's state of mind at the time committing the criminal act. And the difference between manslaughter and murder, it is the mens rea, the intention and your state of mind. So it deals in quite a length about that. But at the same time, because my mum's case was appealed, it was clarified what does life imprisonment mean in a lifetime. So that was clarified in my mother's appeal case. So with my mother's death, I came to realize 2 things. The first one is that this life is not merely given to you just to waste it, just for your days to go and pass and not to do something. I knew it from then that I've got to take ownership of who I am, what I want to be, and do something about it. I'm not expecting that the world would change completely, but I would do my best to reflect on and manifest through my behavior, through my action, as to what is that I want to see. And I want to be proud of the world that I live in. And I managed to create that thinking through a lot of reading. I expressed my pain, my frustration, my disappointment through reading a lot. I remember my auntie used to take me to the library with a mini supermarket basket, and I used to put books in it, and by the end of the week, especially during the summertime, we'll have to go back, return those and get some new ones. And as you can see, I am a big lover of reading and reading what other people got to share with you, because there is a lot of time consumed when it comes into writing a book. So that's one thing that I've learned, is that the days are not given, you have to earn them. Each and every day it's a new day for me to do something about it. And I came also to realize something else. I came to realize that my fears, it's a creation of my imagination. When I was about 5, and until that age, I was afraid of dark. I was really scared of dark, and I know a lot of children that are afraid of dark. And I remember I went into my room at night, I locked the door, I turned off the lights, and I stayed in the middle of the room for quite some time, until I've proven to me that There is nothing to be afraid of. The only thing that I can be afraid is what I create with my mind. And I realized that the biggest reality, it is the one that exists in my mind. And whatever is in my mind, I can make it happen. So the mere fact that I was able to overcome that fear that was so difficult for me, it was a manifestation. It was evidenced by the fact that nothing happened to me. And I came to realize the power that we all possess, not just me, of taking ownership of who you are and how you react in situations. So I knew that I did not want to be the person that there will be sad for because that happened to me. And Cyprus is a very close community, and that could definitely have happened. I decided that that wasn't the case, and I decided that I needed to develop me, to make myself aware. So I would say in my childhood there was a lot of reflection, a lot of reading, a lot of understanding, and I remember about the same age, around 8, I was taken to a children's psychologist to deal with my mother's death. And I think on the 3rd session, I can see it in front of me now. That's how vivid it is in my mind. I remember that I sat on this sofa. It was like a sofa, but not really a sofa. It was like a chair thing. And the psychologist was across me on a chair. And I stood up. I wasn't that tall at that time. I was just 8. So I stood up, and I remember on the back of her chair, she had this white library. And I just stood up and I said to her, I'm going to leave now. And she asked me, where are you going to go, Diana? And I responded, I'm going to go and save myself. And that's what I did. I remember leaving from that door, from that room where the children's psychologist is. I knew that I was taking a conscious decision and I would save myself. So being an international lawyer, you are no help to anyone if you have not firstly saved yourself. If you have not saved yourself from bad experiences that you may have in your childhood, from negative feelings, if you are trapped into that world, then being an international lawyer, it will be no help. Because being an international lawyer, being an international human rights lawyer, it stops being about you. And for that to happen, you need to be a complete person. So my journey in saving myself, it was, I can say it now, it was amazing. There was a lot of self-discovery. And next to my house in Cyprus, I had the blessing to be brought up by those 2 amazing people, and I call them my angels. That family, which I'm going to speak to them about now, they were my miracle in my life. This couple with the 4 children moved next to our house, and the 4 children with my sister, we became a family. And it was our very own definition of family. It doesn't mean that people need to understand what your family may be, but it has to make sense for you. And I don't know, sometimes I feel that the people that you choose to be around you, they are your family. So it doesn't necessarily mean because you're blood related with someone, it means that you have a great relationship. And my family, the non-blood related family, but spiritually connected family, they are the best family I could have ever imagined. There are ups and downs with every family, but unity, strength, togetherness, I would say those are the very few commodities that we shared through this journey. And I am blessed because my uncle, that's how I call him, my uncle, every time, Uncle T, every time I would ask him a question about my mother's death, he would never give me an answer. What he would tell me he had this black library, and he used to tell me, Diana, go on the second shelf of the library, and there is that book, find it and read it. And I used to take it, read it, and I would come back and I would have found the answer to my question, but I would have more questions. And with every question, he would give me a different book. And that's how I was introduced into reading and reflecting. And that was many years of my life, and they were beautiful years because I somehow laid the foundation. At the age of 18, as we all do, you have to decide what is that you want to do. So I was in between psychology and law. Psychology because I was reading so much psychology to understand myself firstly, and to digest what happened to my mother. But for many reasons I decided that, and to be honest, even when I went to my first year of law school, I remember that I was still debating whether it was the right decision that I made. But at that point I didn't really know that international human rights existed. So when I was 18, and before that, I've decided that I'm going to be a lawyer. I went and studied in the Midlands in the UK, and that was 3 years, and then I've done masters. I remained in the Midlands, international commercial law, not international human rights, international criminal law, international law, but there was an international element in it. I've done arbitration, self-goods, competition, all those beautiful things. Maritime insurance law, I've done that as well. And then I continued with my legal practice course, and that's to qualify as a solicitor. I went back to Cyprus and I qualified as a lawyer there. And as soon as I finished for my training contract, I was poached by more senior lawyers that they wanted to open the firm, and I was proposed to handle the litigation department of this newly created firm, which at the time I was 23, and I was very happy about it. But it was as if I've been thrown in the ocean and without a safety net, and they told me, Diana, you've got to swim now. And guess what? I swam. And I managed to go through that. There were many endless nights of fighting over pleadings and drafting and understanding and dealing with real life cases. There wasn't that safety net, or having someone more senior than you, or knowing that this is a mock trial or a exam. So I've learned a lot, and that was 4 years of me practicing law in Cyprus, in the Republic of Cyprus, and at the same time I was teaching there in a university, University of Central Lancashire, and I was teaching Introduction to Law, and then I created a module actually with my module leader, which was the civil procedure rules in the Republic of Cyprus. So I've done that as well, and it was a great experience teaching and at the same time practicing law, because you were able to pass on the wisdom that you've got from the court to the future law students. And on this point, I can't stress enough how important it is to engage with young people. Now that you may be listening to me and you want to be one, you always have to remember that there will be a point that you will have more experience, and you will have to help the younger generation to do something with their lives and do the right way. So either explaining them or helping them or assisting them. It is part of your duty as a lawyer, and we're here only to speak about law, but this may apply actually, in everything in our lives. And then I decided, for professional but also for personal reasons, that I wanted to move in the UK. I moved in the UK, and I moved in the UK because I knew that Cyprus at that point could not give me any more. I wanted more. I wanted to do more with my profession. I wanted to expand those boundaries even further. And I knew that London would be the place. It is a hub, it is a cosmopolitan capital, and I knew that it was vibrant with opportunities and all these different projects that I was reading throughout. So I came to London and I was very active by attending conferences and panel discussions, and I got to meet all these amazing people. And I think around the age of 27, that's when I clicked. That's when I realized in this journey of being a lawyer in Cyprus, in the UK, and I do have a separate video how to qualify in the UK, which it may change now with Brexit. I just discovered what was missing, what was the missing puzzle, and the missing puzzle was international human rights law, and it all made sense. Do you know when you discover something, you're like, this is it, you found it? And that's how I felt. I felt that I found the missing puzzle. All those conferences I've been going to, I got to meet a lot of inspiring people, and I had the blessing to be guided through from one of the prosecutors actually in one of the hybrid courts that was dealing with in Sierra Leone case, and he was helping me throughout this path and guiding me. So I was blessed to have beautiful people around me through this journey. And very soon after pursuing this path and meeting with activists, human rights activists, listening to the stories and trying to do something with it, I cross-qualified to be a barrister, and from there on, because I found my core. And once you find your core into this life, then there is this thing that's called serendipity. Things come to you when you least expect it. You don't really ask for it, but it comes to you. So I guess from there on, things, it's not that they do fall into your laps. In one moment you become an international lawyer. No, but all that hard work, there is a point that things are happening. I am now with 33 Bedford Road Chambers, and I am practicing, amongst other areas of law, I am practicing international criminal law and human rights. I will leave a link of my professional profile in the description box for you to check it out. I also have Rolesa, which is an legal organisation that helps Cypriot lawyers with the qualification in Cyprus, and the idea is to be able to provide through this platform in both official languages in Cyprus, which is Greek and Turkish. I am at the same time passionate about my nation and my country, and as I am now in London and I am engaging with international community, I am doing my very best to understand where does Cyprus stand in the international fora, in order to return back to Cyprus sometime in the future and do my best. I'm going to leave it there. There are many ideas, there are many thoughts that I do have, but I will be able to share with you in due course, but not now. So that's what I do. I also teach online there and then. I thoroughly enjoy teaching and helping law students, and I always get very positive feedback from my students, which it always makes me very happy. It's that if you've got too many days of like trials and a lot of pressure teaching and having a student telling you I understood everything, I'm so happy, now it makes sense, it gives you that instant gratification that you need. It's kind of the fuel and the boost that you need. So this is what I do, and I hope you enjoy this video. This is my journey on how I became an international lawyer, and I hope that you find your core. If it's your core being an international lawyer, leave a comment down below. Please let me know. I would love to engage with you. If you need any help, just click in the link down below about the legal session, and I may be able to help you out. Oof, that was a long video. I hope you resonate with some of the things that I said, and I will see you in my next video. I love you loads. Take care, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye.